Cheers.
Lovely jumper, by the way.
Thank you. I knitted it.
Ah, no way.
One of my knits.
Brilliant.
It's got pockets and everything.
That is impressive.
Oh, wow. I can only knit blankets. It's got to be square.
It's something I've picked up on very recently, and
wow.
I just kept going. So
Brilliant.
Well, how you doing, team?
Oh, yeah, not bad.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been making some notes, guys, as we've been going along as well. Excellent.
I find it too difficult to type and do that, and I was just like, just get my notebook out.
Yeah, we were just talking, Tony, about what we're actually going to be asking people, which is, what is the studying like for somebody affected by those factors?
Yep.
And what can we do to improve? But we were wondering if we should think up more questions, add more questions in, or just use those as a starting point and then just have a conversation and just see where it goes.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, Nicholas might have given you some advice around this already, but I mean, you could, as a team, agree maybe 3 or 4 questions, so you've got a semi-structured interview structure, so that you're all going out and asking the same questions to start with, and then see where the conversation goes. So at least you know broadly you're going to find out the same information, but then keep it open so that you can let the conversation go wherever you like. But yes, it might be useful to sort of agree for 3 or 4 questions to give it some kind of structure, I would think.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, shall I tell you a bit about the questions?
Yes.
Okay, you want them to be open questions. Do you know what an open question is?
Yeah.
What's an open question?
One that you can't answer with yes or no.
Exactly, yes. So so start with, make sure they're open questions. Make sure they're written in the language of the person you'll be interviewing. Make sure there's no ambiguity. Therefore, try them out on people before you do it.
What was that? Hang on, missed that. You broke up a little bit. Make sure there's no what?
No ambiguity.
Ambiguity, right.
No ambiguity. Sorry, I'm in France and I can't plug it in.
It's all right.
It's much better by day than by evening, as often with these things.
Everyone comes home and plugs it in, I guess.
Good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Then what I suggest is you have main questions and prompts, right? So, so tell me, what's it like to study at university when you're got whatever it is, X, Y, Z, and then you might get a whole load of stuff, or they might just talk for 2 minutes or less, 10 seconds. So therefore, you've got a lot of prompts. You say, "Well, what's it like when you're in the studio?" Or what's it like? What's it like when you're going from room to room? Or do you know anybody else with this? Who's got this? And you can have all these prompts that you might use, but you hope you won't need to. Right. And you all have the same prompt, and then so therefore you probably only need 2 or 3 main questions, but you have a lot of prompts that you have in reserve if you need them. And that's usually the best way. And often so why and how questions, or tell me what it's like, and those sorts of questions that kind of really open people up and make it sound as if you're interested, which you will be.
One of the interview techniques that we always use is in filming is to kind of know the answers that you want to hear. I mean, not necessarily the specific detail, but the answers that you want to hear, and then work out the questions that will lead somebody to that answer.
Like in this context, I'm not sure what you'd want to hear.
No, but,
You're genuine.
But I suppose in that sense, it's like your prompt, like wanting to know how they find studio life.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, as opposed to the exact answer.
Yes, I mean one of the questions we had recently on the detail from the NSS response was, the 13% who said they thought the course was a waste of time. When you actually drilled down, or they didn't like the course, when you drilled down, you found out they actually didn't like the meals in the canteen at lunchtime.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things with the questions you need to drive them to, as you say. Do you find working in the studio? How do you find working in the studio? Because you're expecting them to talk about that. So you phrase the question so it drives towards the answer.
Right. So just be quite specific, I suppose.
Well, it's a balance between being completely open-ended and being completely, do you find in the studio it's difficult to hear your lecturer? Is obviously a very prompting question. But on the other hand, what don't you like about working at the university? They're going to say, well, I don't like the food in the canteen. So you got two ends.
But the canteen could be relevant.
The canteen could be relevant.
Yeah, true.
Don't exclude it. You don't want it influencing the NSS, but it might influence this in some way.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's fairly difficult to get into the Farnham one in a wheelchair. You have to go through a lift.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So you're not doing people in wheelchairs, admittedly, but you can see, for example, it's not impossible that the library or the canteen or the toilets or something will be of an issue they want to talk about. So don't discourage them. Anything around their experience that could be relevant. Although, we do end up with the fact that there's far less you can do about other things. It's almost beyond your gift, isn't it? But it's good to know. It's good to know.
Yeah.
I suppose in terms of the canteen, that is a social area. So it could be that they find it difficult to hear in the social area. So there needs to be a slightly more of a booth area where you can enclose your conversation or something like that.
Yeah.
Although it's not.
Are there any of those hearing loops in any of the places where hard of hearing people would actually need absolute clarity?
Well, they are in the lecture theatres, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know if, do the staff doing the lectures know how to turn them on?
What is a hearing loop?
Yeah, I don't even.
Well, when you go to a bank or to the ticket office at the train station, there's a special thing that's amplified at a frequency that the hearing aid is designed to. So you're almost talking directly into the not Bluetooth, but you're talking directly into their. So they're not relying on the ambient noise; they're actually picking up a signal being transmitted to them. I don't know how it works exactly, but that's the idea.
Yeah. So that's got to be somewhere with a microphone, then, hasn't it?
Yeah.
As well. So like the lecture theatre, but that they won't have that in the canteen, say, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is if you're in a workshop environment where there's tools
Voices
going off all the time, that would be, irritating, I would imagine, if you had a hearing loop and raising a beaker in a silversmithing workshop.
Yeah.
You're all wearing ear defenders, so you're all hard of hearing because you've got to protect your ears.
Yeah.
That's a thought. So that's the other thing. Get everyone to put their ear defenders in, and then you know that they're all hard of hearing.
Yeah.
Talk really loudly.
If you have a hearing aid and then you wear ear defenders on top of that, how much more does that restrict your hearing?
Good question.
Can you actually hear at all? In which case, is that worse? Because you can't hear instructions at all, so you need that piece of paper in front of you.
Yep.
If you've got a hearing aid, presumably you don't need to put on the ear defenders. You just turn the thing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the health and safety of you not being able to hear if there's an emergency or you're being told to turn something off.
But that's generally the case. I mean, there are people who can't hear anything anyway.
Yeah.
So that's always an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because the fire alarms there are strobes, aren't there, that go off with the fire alarms?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not sure that would affect the well-being of the student too much.
I don't know if they've got anxiety.
It's the delivery of the actual classes that's going to be the most important thing, isn't it?
For you, yes, because you can't do anything about fire alarms or the canteen.
Suppose if you've got someone suffering from anxiety, and at 11 o'clock every Thursday morning.
Yep, they have the alarms.
Yeah.
Knee jump.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's almost like you could do with a little mini alarm, just to say, everyone, you're about to get, scared to death because this thing's going to go off.
One day there'll be a fire at precisely 11 o'clock.
And no one will do anything.
And everybody will get burned alive.
Right, yeah.
You saying about the fire alarms, this one student that I'm thinking of, I ran a workshop in the stop motion studio, and it's in a different part of the building, and it goes off 5 minutes later. So she'd experienced one, and then she came into my room and it was a delayed response, and it's a pitch higher because you're in an underground bit, and she couldn't cope with that difference, so she had to walk out because she couldn't deal with that. Suddenly she was like, it's not the same, and it's a different time, and it's a different pitch, I don't like it. And I was like, it'll be over in a few minutes. She went, no, I've got to go. So, and she'd already experienced one, so she didn't want to experience the other.
Fair enough.
I don't blame her on that.
Yeah.
That is one of the things that most of the best lectures that you have, someone is very good at pointing out, and I think Tony did it, we are expecting a fire alarm at test. Because, if you do suffer from anxiety, then that could be a very big trigger. Yeah. And ruin the next 20 minutes of your lesson. Yeah.
I was going to jump in quickly. Nicholas, I'm just going to move you on if you want to move into a different room quickly.
Okay.
All right, I'll move you over to screen.
Bye.
Right, you all right, team?
Yeah.
You good?
I'm a bit vague as to how we're going to find people. Excuse me, is anyone hard of it?
Can you hear me? No? Great, I need to talk to you.
I know one technician that reckons he's half deaf from years in the workshop, but that doesn't quite count, does it? Although,
but then could you then say he has to adapt his workshops because of that?
Yeah.
So,
in fact, he had to take time off because of damage to his, and he has to wear his ear defenders. If he forgets and someone hits a hammer, he nearly falls to the floor in pain.
Oh God!
So I've done it to him.
Oh no!
It's like, and I'm sitting there with the big ear defenders on, minding my own business.
Can I just ask, how long is this podcast meant to be?
3 hours.
Only?
No, it's as long as it needs to be. I think by the time each of you have gone around and shared what you found out, probably be in the region of about half an hour. I would think if you do end up going longer, absolutely fine. You might want to go to an hour, but there's no time limit. It's just enough for you to share what you found out and sort of combine that a little bit with some perspectives from the literature. So just to contextualise it, this is what I found out from my interviews, this is what the literature says about what I found out, and then each of you shares that and then just has a discussion around it, really. Okay. So it's very informal in that sense. And
when are we, sorry, I may have missed this earlier on, when are we delivering this?
So the deadline for hand-in for this is the 24th of October.
That'll be on the unit guide, which I should have looked at.
Yes, that's right. So it's week 8. So you've got 1, 2, 3. That's the 4th Thursday session from today. So you've got four sessions after today to work on it.
Right.
it's not something that you have to deliver live to everybody like the presentation. So it is just something that you record as your team. So you could do it in one of the Thursday sessions, or equally if you wanted to meet up outside of that on Zoom and do it. That's fine.
I have a bit of an issue because I'm going away. I'm only going to get one session at UCA because I'm only in 1 day a week, and that'll be the 17th because the second time I'll be in will be the 24th.
Okay.
So
So could you aim to record it on the 24th?
I could do the research and everything behind it.
Yeah.
It would just be that the 17th would be the first day I am in, so I would have to really hope that the person I want to interview will be in and everything, and do the research before and after.
Okay.
I'll get it done. It'll be fine.
Right. Okay.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, you could record it on the Thursday evening, the 24th, and then just submit it at the end of the session, if you want to do that.
So basically, you're expecting everyone to have gone on with a little voice recorder or something on their smartphone and sat with a crib sheet of questions, recorded the answers, transcribed, or just worked out how to.
No, it's less formal than that. I think what I'm anticipating is that you, as a team, probably agree 3 or 4 questions that you're going to ask. So it'll be some kind of semi-structured interview format. So broadly the same things. If you do want to record the conversation, by all means do, but I'm not expecting you to transcribe it. I think you can record it if you want to then make notes from it later. You don't need to transcribe it. Obviously, if you do record it, make sure the person is happy for you to record the conversation. But equally, you might just have a conversation with them and take notes.
Just written answers, and then we create the podcast ourselves, voicing the answers.
Yes, yeah. So you don't bring the recording in. No, it's just you describing what you found out.
We need to clarify that. I had picturing myself out, roving reporter, in a microphone. Do you suffer from anxiety?
Yeah. Are you nervous? No, not yet. No, more sensitive. Yeah, no, because it just gets around confidentiality issues.
Okay. Yeah.
Sharing the recordings. Okay.
So yeah, to think about. Okay.
Also, then maybe start to have a think about some of the articles that you might look at, or you might want to just have a shared document with a few references, or things that you might find useful to draw on for your particular the factors that you're looking at. That might be quite useful. Just do a little search on Google Scholar or the catalogue, something like that. See what you can find.
Okay.
Do we have a OneDrive space on the website?
The short answer is yes. The longer answer is I probably wouldn't touch it with a barge pole, because
sharing documents. How would you recommend?
I'd suggest that one of you starts a Google document and shares that. It's just much easier. You're in control of it. It's more reliable. So if anyone is familiar with Google Docs, I'd probably just create a document, share the link amongst you, and drop stuff on there.
Okay.
Is anyone a Google Docs fan?
Hate it.
Okay.
In fact, I only just discovered that I've got Microsoft Office 365 attached to my UCA email account after 3 years. So,
nice.
So the trouble I was having the other week converting a Microsoft Doc to a Google Doc back to it, I could have used that. So.
Well, I can set up a OneDrive doc for you and share that if you would prefer to use OneDrive.
No, I mean, when I say hate it, the problem we have with Google Docs is that we get students to work on the documents, and classically they leave everything to the last moment. Why do I feel I'm talking about myself? Leave everything to the last moment.
That is what the teacher said. It's all about in a nutshell.
If the deadline is 12 o'clock, so 11:45, everybody's typing in on the document and nobody knows what the hell's going on. It's just
We're not going to be like that, though, Mark, are you?
No, of course not.
The day before. The day before. We'll be good.
Exactly, yeah. Nowhere near as bad.
No, that's like twice the amount of time everyone else gets.
Yeah, exactly.
48 hours, not 24.
I was impressed that our Zoom, our private Zoom thing we did on Tuesday,
That
actually
went
ran over 40
well.
minutes, and they said, "Oh, you've got extra time," and you were like, "Where'd that come from?"
So it
That's
then
great, isn't
said...
it? That's a really good little feature. Whenever you sign up for Zoom, that always happens to me.
Yeah, it said if you schedule your next meeting, so I tried to schedule it for the 23rd of October. We got it again, but it never said anything. So I was like, oh, okay.
But yeah, that worked well.
That went really well.
Well, I finally got there 3 minutes late, but yes.
It's all right.
That's good.
Good. I'm glad that went well.
Yeah.
Cool. So are we going to this week then start opening up a document? One of us open up a Google Doc.
Yeah, I was just looking at it now, starting a new document and just seeing how I can invite you guys.
Okay, and then
Cool.
if we formulate the 3/4 questions that we're going to ask
Yeah, cool.
within the leaders, if you like, within that, the prompts.
Yeah.
Then that sort of kind of gives us a step forward, doesn't it?
So I'm not using LinkedIn as much as I ought to. I haven't opened it since the other night. That's the other place where we can share.
Yeah, you can share links and stuff.
LinkedIn's not brilliant for that. I mean, you can share files and links through LinkedIn if it's like on an ad hoc basis. But if you're trying to collect stuff in a useful way, better to have it in a Google Doc because you're sort of all looking at the same page then.
Well, it's like when you did the PowerPoint for us, we were all able to just chip stuff into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
We kind of need that same vehicle, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Thank you, Nix.
I can't get back in the Zoom.
What's that?
So I've opened LinkedIn now. I can't get. Oh, there we go.
Too many windows.
So we can see your face as you start to panic.
Panic, really.
Is it anxiety you're still in? Yeah. Technology anxiety.
Oh, right, guys, I've managed to open a new Google Doc and get a link, but I'm trying to copy it into the. I'm trying to share the link with you. Let me see.
So,
oh, there it is. There you go. See if you can go into it and type something.
right, so you've shared that with everyone. That's fine. There is no way to do the subgroup, is there?
So it says you can
or is this actually? Hold on. Oh, it is only us.
Yeah, everyone is actually just us because I think because that's
This
we're in
breakout.
our little group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm being dim.
No, that's what I thought first. I thought, oh dear, I'm going to send it to like 30 people, but.
Okay, let's open that.
So I haven't done anything. I've just titled it Inclusivity Podcasts.
Is there anything you might need to check, Rosie? I've just opened it. Have you invited people by email address?
No, I put the link in the chat.
So what you'll need to do, I think, because at the moment it looks like it's view only.
Oh, I did put. Oh.
So you've got to edit to request. No, request to edit. So I've sent a request.
Oh, right, cool.
It might be easier to just click share, and anyone with the link can edit. It's probably easier rather than.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I can see it. Yep. Right. How about now?
Yeah, that looks better.
Cool.
Brilliant.
Good stuff.
Cool.
And we've got to be able to sign in.
You shouldn't need to sign in now, Mark. No, it's just a document where you can all add stuff to. There we go.
I just typed my name in here. Everyone just suddenly sees it, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you are.
Not working for me.
Oh, someone's hello, hi, yeah.
Yeah. Try refreshing the page, Mark. If it's that might work because since Rosie's changed the access, then you might just reload the page.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Hey.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Okay, so we're We're good. Right, let's close the breakout rooms. Well done, everyone. Make sure you save that.
Hello.
All right, well done, teams. Good.
It's just another breakout room, just in the main hallway.
But we've left. We never left.
I'm just going to share that link with Elva on the LinkedIn messaging. I'll message you all in the group thing so that you've got that link still.
Thank you. Look at you guys are multi-platform already. This is amazing. Things and Google Docs and Zooms and.
I know, crikey.
You say that, but it will all be on so many different levels. It'll be like, well, I think there's a bit from this and a bit from this, and there might be something in here.
I think you got cut off there at the perfect time.
I was just trying to save that Zoom chat.
I've saved it, Fran.
Oh, well done.
Well done, team. Good. Okay. After an initial tour, it seems like everyone's on track, which is good. So if you have any concerns or questions about any of this over the next few weeks, obviously, please do let myself and Nicholas know. And just, as I said at the start, be mindful of the sensitivity of what you're dealing with, and just tread carefully, and just make sure that you get consent from everybody for your interviews. Okay. Good. Well done, everyone. Thank you very much. That was a successful first step into task 2, and see you next week. Oh, one last thing. Fran, you did ask me to share the readings on so that people can read ahead, and I've now popped those on my ECA. So they are in a folder on the left of my ECA called second one down, weekly readings. So if you do want to look ahead, there's the next at least 5 weeks readings there. Okay. So I'll add the rest of them for the unit, but there's at least 5 weeks there that you can move ahead with if you want to. Yeah.
But the readings we were supposed to read last week are still available for us.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, nothing gets erased. So yeah.
Yeah,
Fran.
And the week before.
Fran, I used your technique. Tony sent me a step-by-step guide to embed a video, and I copied and pasted it on an A4 document. And then I can print that out and follow instructions on a piece of paper, one at a time. I thank you for that method. It helps.
Well done, everyone. Thank you very much. Next Wednesday, and I'll be obviously readings will go up on for this Sunday. But if you want to read ahead, as I say, they're online. You can have a look at. Okay.
All right.
Fantastic stuff. Well done. Onwards and upwards, and see you next week.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.